about this love. About this about this love. About this love. Love. How you guys doing today? You are tuning into About This Love podcast with myself, Dale, and my wife, Charel. Say what's up to my peoples.
What's up, peoples?
As always, you guys can adjust our podcast anywhere where you can find podcasts. We're probably up there. Even the ones we don't know about, we're probably up there too. We recently was added to Pandora, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, which are only two places you can follow us. So let's get it cracking.
What are we getting cracking? We cracking backs? Like we at the chiropractor? What we doing?
Actually, we are at a chiropractor. I went there today.
That's what I'm saying. You said let's get it cracking. We cracking next. What we doing?
Next, wallets.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Go ahead. Nice. Go. I'm not even going into it. Go ahead, Charel.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have to get that out of there. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, today I thought it would be good to talk about our friends, our friendships, because, you want to be in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of people really genuinely want to be in a relationship with someone that leads to marriage one day. And it's like, you don't really take a look at your friends. And I say that because I have one example, and I think this is about my only example I have was when Dale and I started getting serious and we started talking about marriage. It was kind of like, yeah, so, who are your friends? Like, who do you hang around? And so I started telling him my 2-3 friends that I had. And he's like, well, would you ever trust them around me? Like, would you trust them in your home? And I started to sit back and think, and I was just kind of like, you know what? I don't know if I would. And so he actually said to me, if you cannot trust your friends around your spouse, meaning that they would do something shady, do something you would have to question their character. He was actually just highlighting the fact that I may not really be friends with them because I don't trust their character. I don't trust that they may not try to make a move just because of whatever their, intentions are or whatever for being at my house that day or what have you. And so at first I was just thinking, oh, that sounds kind of crazy. But then, you think back and you're like, no, a couple comments was made. And
I think that, let me play the devil's advocate right now. Because I think a part of that would actually fall back on you as well. And I'm not saying like it's your fault, but I'm saying
well, what would fall back?
What is it about me that I would attract people who are not trustworthy? What does that say about my character?
No, it's not necessarily that, but sometimes you may just keep people around you. It could even be some cousins or, what I'm saying, or family members. But I remember when we were first dating that you were you asked about my friends. And not in you got friends for my friends, but it was more so who are your friends? Who do you hang around? Because, what is their character like? Could you trust them around your spouse? And I never really thought about it. And then when I started to think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be married to you. And I probably should be I wouldn't mind my friend coming by or whatever. But, really having to be watchful, what I'm saying, over your friends, I feel like that's one of those things where it's almost should they really even be considered a friend if you already don't trust them? I feel like people do keep friends like that around because that's been my boy since.
They're just acquaintances.
I know what you're saying, but some people might feel that's my boys from kindergarten or whatever. We grew up together in the same neighborhood. I mean, they do shady things. I know that, but they would never cross me kind of thing. Didn't you say you had a coworker that just don't understand that you're around someone shady, they're going to get you caught up in something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not you, but them.
But I told you, I told you that, when you're young, you have a false sense of loyalty to people. It's funny because, I did too. I said, even to this day, sometimes to this day, I think about it like I was really riding with dudes who had firearms who was going to do some crazy stuff. And I was in the car riding with them. I could have been killed or, could have gone to jail for whatever reason because I was just riding with these dudes, And it's funny because yesterday I was thinking about when I get older, I'm actually going to make sure my daughter understands that, you are to be loyal to people if they're loyal to you and love you. But when people start doing stuff that's wrong and it's bad, you get out ASAP. I think that's one of the things that always baffled me is that people would ride or die with somebody and they doing something wrong. You know they're wrong. They know that they're wrong, but you're gonna ride with them. It's nah, I'm not riding with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ride with you if we're on the path of righteousness and good. But when you start doing something bad or you start doing things that are untrustworthy, I really can't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. You know, my moral belief in Jesus Christ won't let me do that. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'll let you know I can't rock with you. I ain't gonna just roll off. I ain't gonna just, you know, ghost you and be like, hey, look, man, or look, girl, you doing some things that I really can't vibe with. You know what I'm saying? You know, you do what you do. I love you, but I can't be around you no more.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I've said it. I've said it to people in my family. Like, look, man, I really can't. You know, rock with you guys. You know, whatever y'all doing, I love you, but I can't be around that type of behavior or activities. Call me or love me from a distance, and I do the same. You know.
Yeah. And it can be really tough. Oh my gosh, that's just kind of like that situation with Master P and his brother. Like how his brother ended up in jail.
Well, actually, I was watching that last week too on way to go to work.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
the documentary?
No Limit. Well, I was watching. Yeah, No Limit documentary.
You watched that without me?
It was on YouTube, and I ain't probably listening to music, so I just listened to. I was just listening.
Man,
to
it be your own kin, man. They just be watching stuff without you.
But yeah.
But no, so either way, I got a brief synopsis.
How you know about it?
I don't know. I don't know.
You must have watched it too.
No, I didn't watch it. I think I seen like somebody talking about it on YouTube. I mean, I don't watch TV, but I watch a lot of YouTube.
Same thing.
And so anyway, so I watch YouTube and I think I seen a video and I've grown up like seeing Master P and Romeo, and so I was just kind of like, oh, they have family in jail, and I love the singer Monica, like I love her singing, and so it was almost like, wait a minute, and she caught up in something, so I just kind of like entertained it, just to hear like how they're all like, you know, how they're all together or how they all connect or whatever, other than being in the music industry together. But basically, like, if y'all don't know the story, just a quick synopsis, you know, Master P's brother is in jail for kind of being with, like, the wrong crowd, because if you go and watch his documentary, it's something about Master P promoting like his family to kind of get out of the hood so that he can make a better life for them. And so something that he told his brother to do was like, you know, get yourself up out of the hood and get rid of your friends, or get rid of those people that you've been hanging around, because they're just going to bring you back down. But I think that, you know, that didn't happen. And so not that the brother actually committed the crime himself, he was made an example of.
Yeah, he was made an example of. I think primarily because, you know, he was rich and in a position of I won't say power, but some source of power, because he had, you know, he had a level of wealth. Because I actually, when I was going to work, I was listening to it on YouTube, and one of the things Master P said was that, you know, I told C to you know, guy, his name is C Murder. I told C to stop hanging around the dudes he was hanging around, because in the documentary it was like, yeah, you know, he had millions of dollars, but he was still hanging out in the hood, you know. And I mean, I've always that's always baffled me. Just people who make that kind of money. Well, no, it doesn't baffle me, because you can make $1 million, but your mentality, or like we mentioned on the previous podcast, your culture. You know, you refuse to allow some of the things from your culture go. But anyways, you know, just not going on a tangent. So the point she was making to this was, as it relates to relationships, it's just that, you know, when you're somebody who wants to be in a loving relationship, I guess, you know, just who you have surrounding you, you know, and do you trust the people that you're around? They could be around your spouse and not try to make a move, or would they be, you know, or be very respectful. Was it last night or was it Saturday night? We watched the movie on Netflix.
It was like Saturday night.
Yeah, but it's a movie on Netflix. It's called Seriously Singled, and I actually enjoyed it. In the movie, you have two friends. One of them is kind of looking for this fairy tale love, and because of it, she comes on to men too soon and too strong, and they end up just using her, you know, for what they can get out of it, which of course, you know, is sex. And then after they're done, they roll out. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in the movie, her friend is someone who doesn't really believe in love and isn't really looking for love, looking to have a good time. Because throughout the course of the movie, she tells her, oh, you need to get laid. You know what I'm saying? And so, and her friend's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to actually, you know, invest in real love. And, you know, I want to be able to come home to the same man every night, you know, for whatever reasons. But throughout the course of the movie, it's just interesting because she eventually falls prey to just sleeping with somebody for whatever reason. And I think that goes back to what my wife was saying. You know, just that when you have people around you who you guys don't have the same interests, or they don't serve your best interests, then you're gonna end up, you know, either they're gonna end up influencing you, or you're going to end up influencing them. There's a scripture that says, you know, bad company corrupts good moral, if I had to paraphrase it. And basically, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I can't be somebody that's trying to open up a business and, you know, create legal wealth and have cats that, that I know and grew up with that's on a block slinging dope and cocaine. I can't do that. The two can't coexist. One will cancel out the other. Either my friends who are selling drugs will leave that alone and come work for me legally, or I'm gonna just stop doing what I'm doing legally and just go with them and sell dope and cocaine or whatever legal activities that they're involved in. But the two can't be around each other, because let's just go hypothetically real quick. If the feds come and let's say they go after my friend who's, doing illegal activities, and I just happen to be around them, chances are, even if I don't go to prison or go to jail or get caught up in whatever they're doing, it's still going to leave a bad name on my business if he's around me. Just like in the documentary, Master P was saying how a lot of companies and things didn't want to mess with him anymore. But he says by that time, he had been cut ties with C-Murder. But just because of the very residue of him being a part of your camp at one time, they didn't even want to rock with him anymore, So that's a reality. That's a reality that we have to be able to understand and be able to realize.
Yeah, that makes sense, because like if you think about it, how many times have you seen a guy that you were interested in, but then you've encountered their friends, and it's like, yeah, you're cool, but your friend is some trash. And I mean, I guess people don't say it that way, but it's like, I really don't like your friend like
That's
that.
terrible.
And then you guys end up coming to a head, coming into like an argument over something that your friend convinced you was a perfectly normal or good idea or good thing to do. And so it has really added tension into your relationship with the person that you were pursuing.
Yeah.
At one point, when Dale and I had met and we were hanging out, there were some friends who were just like, and I wouldn't even say that they were friends, they were acquaintances, but I thought we were building a friendship at that point. And so they were like, oh, well, I mean, I really don't know about him because, and this and that. And none of the reasons that they had were valid, like I had to actually sit back and analyze, like, you know what, why are they saying this? Like, what is the heart of why they're saying certain things? Like, even when I wanted to get married, I felt like the Lord put it on my heart to, start seeking out what it is to be a wife and, what that looks like, what that consists of. Do I go and ask my single friends that, like, what it consists of to be a wife? No. So I worked in a salon at the time, and I actually asked, like, the women who I knew were married. They were older women. And I quickly realized that I was getting answers based on maybe the hurts that they've experienced in their marriage. And, I mean, it happens, like, things happen, like people get hurt, and in a sense they learn from their hurt, or at least they feel like they've learned from their hurt. But if anything, they've really put a guard up, so to speak. They've put a wall up, and it's like, yeah, we still married, but, they did this to me, and, this and that could never happen. And so a lot of times I was advised to, not even think about marriage. I'm young. Like I have so much time to just date around. Someone in my family had been married for years. Like they had been married most of their life. And so they told me one day, and this was after I was married, they told me one day, like, I feel like it's very important to date around before you get married. At first, I was like really saddened that they said that. But then once I took a step back and I realized, okay, they're actually saying this because of their hurt. They felt like they've been the spouse that always done the right thing, that always, tried to please their spouse, but their spouse has constantly, probably till this day, have let them down. And so that's why, they feel like they haven't been out and experienced, I don't know, maybe a true whirlwind romance or something that you do as a teenager where you don't have responsibility, towards someone. And it's like really difficult to take advice from those type of people, those type of friends, those type of family members, or just whoever it is you're, kind of talking with. And so in the movie that we watched on Saturday, it was actually an eye-opener for me as to why, you really should be cautious about who you're keeping around you. If you feel like you're trying to pursue marriage, or you feel like you're trying to pursue like even a healthy, genuine friendship with the opposite sex, and you just want to get to know them, and your friends are telling you, nah, girl, just like do whatever, just play them, just go out, just do your thing, you can end up in a place where you didn't want to be, where you're eventually lowering your standards. And what you don't want to do is lower your standards. Now, sometimes there are some completely unrealistic standards, but then also too, you have put those things in place because you felt like you've tried your hand at doing other things. And so this is what I haven't tried yet. I hadn't tried the Lord's way yet. I hadn't tried, maybe cutting everybody off and actually focusing in on what the Lord would actually have me to do. And could this be realistic for me, or could this work for me? And I mean, you'll find that once you do that, kind of cut back on letting your friends know, or even kind of hanging around those kind of people, or considering those kinds of people friends, or considering, their input on relationships or on your potential, marital relationship, you'll start to see things shift. So yeah, you might not have someone to talk to when you're upset about something, or when you're confused about something. You might not have those ones to talk to, but ultimately you probably don't even want those ones to talk to, because it's almost as though, they'll give you things that you didn't even need to consider or need to think of. Like when the Lord has already put on your mind, on your heart, that no, you are going to pursue this, you're going to pursue this person. You're going to get to at least know them for a couple months to a year. And you're going to pursue a friendship with them, or you guys are going to actually consider marriage, and, what are the steps to that? And then when you have those type of friends that will kind of sideswipe you in a way, it's almost like you're not getting anywhere, and you'll find yourself single. And, I hate to say misery loves company, because I know everyone who's single is not miserable. They are probably actively looking for a relationship as well.
Yeah.
But then because they aren't currently in a relationship, but then you're currently, trying to pursue someone you're trying to marry, they may just sideswipe you. Like the movie that Dale mentioned, I think it's called Seriously Single.
Yeah.
What we see in that movie, or at least what I got from that movie, was, this girl is living with this best friend. And the issue that I took with the best friend is that I'm living with you. You see that I'm, moving too fast with this guy, and you're not going to try to sit down and address, my issue with me. Like, you see it. You see that I'm a train wreck. But what you're going to tell me to do is forget about it and just go out and don't even think about men or whatever, or just kind of use them up and show them that you're having a good time and that, you've picked yourself back up. But I mean, until, the friend actually got into a situation where it's getting kind of serious, and she actually was like falling in love with the dude, that's when she decided to address her friend, who went back to this guy who eventually exposed himself to be a person who was getting married to some other woman, and that's when that's when the friend decided to tell this young lady, like, hey, you actually move too fast. You're a train wreck. Like, this is why things aren't going right, because you're doing things wrong. You have been doing things the wrong way. And I'm like, had she been a true friend, whether she was in a happy relationship, happy, secure relationship or not, she should have told her friend, like, hey, I love you, but you are going about things all the wrong way.
True.
And even before she met this other guy, like, it should have been like, you know what? Or maybe it could have been like this, like, you know what? Let's go out, have a good time tonight, get your mind off of it. Just have a girls' night. Let's get your mind off this initial breakup. And then we're going to come to a place where we talk about it. We actually process what happened. What did you do wrong? But what you'll find is that you don't have a lot of friends like that who can help you do that and help you navigate your own emotions, because they're miserable and they have their own hurts from past or things that they've seen in their own family and amongst their own friends. And it's like they can't even help you process or navigate what you may be going through. And, ultimately, misery loves company. It is what it is.
I mean, I wouldn't say that people are miserable. I think that sometimes people just don't have the tools necessary to help people out, or they have a million other things going on, and they're not very sensitive to the level of need of their friend at that time. Like to be honest, like even at work, just people that we work with sometimes I actually have to check in with the Lord and just see if there's anyone in my job that just maybe going through it, and just kind of need somebody to talk to. But I think that sometimes what I found is it's not that people don't that they don't care, or that they don't care. They just don't have the tools necessary, or they're just not sensitive enough to actually recognize that you're going through it. You know, that's why like when people commit suicide, oftentimes people are surprised. They're surprised because it was like, I was just talking to him last night. And I think that level of sensitivity really comes from the Lord. The Lord, you know, let you know that, hey, you know, your friend is really in a situation, you know, with a guy, and you know, you really need to talk to her and let her know that this isn't the way to go. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, you know, apart from the Lord, a lot of the things that we should be cognizant of, we just don't have the ability to be cognizant of. Now, I do know and believe that naturally some people just have a natural discernment about them, even if they don't believe in the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just natural on some people. They can just pick up on things instantly, you know, without having to be told, or without having to you know, really, I guess, have a sense of discernment. We hope you guys definitely enjoyed the conversation on today. As always, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and you can, as always, you can ingest our podcast everywhere where podcasts can be found. Now, you know, we've added Pandora to the list of places where our podcasts are at, and soon we'll be on Amazon once they launch their podcast platform. So please continue to support us, continue to listen to our podcast. Please share, please comment. Let us know if there's topics that you guys would like us to talk about. Let us know if there's topics that we talked about in the past that you would like us to go more in depth, or just kind of go over it again. You know, as always, thank you for tuning into About This Love. Until next time, peace.